Coronation Street twists, Lisa unravels, emergency hospital rush, Carl exposed, and teenage pregnancy shock. Viewers of Coronation Street will be getting fewer visits to Weatherfield next week as fresh spoilers reveal tough times ahead for Lisa Swain, a confession from Carl Webster, and a pregnancy scare. Things begin with Betsy Swain celebrating her 18th birthday after staying out all night. When she returns for the party, the drinks start flowing, and she makes a toast to a photo of her late mother, Becky. As Betsy prepares to head into town with friends, Lisa presses her about her social life. Reminding her that she isn't a child anymore, Betsy stuns her by admitting she slept with Dylan Wilson the night before. Later in the precinct, Betsy leaves voice messages for both Dylan and Lisa. But before she can finish, a stolen car crashes nearby, prompting Betsy to scream in fear. ITV bosses are keeping quiet about what comes next, only confirming that in the following episode, Lisa struggles to cope as she reels from the shocking turn of events. Meanwhile, Kevin and Abby Webster return from their holiday, only for Kevin to be furious when he discovers half-brother Carl working in the garage. He demands Carl be gone by day's end. Still desperate for cash to keep Tracy Barlow quiet about their affair, Carl ropes Dylan Wilson and Brody Michaelis into another scheme. Later, George Shuttleworth spots Dylan behind the wheel of a stolen car, leaving him stunned. DC Kit Green soon informs residents the car has been recovered, but someone has set it on fire to hide the evidence. With one local left in hospital seriously injured, George confronts Dylan, saying he saw him driving. Dylan insists George is wrong. Elsewhere, Abby confides to Carl that she can't stop thinking about him, only to be shocked when Dylan's name flashes on his phone. Under pressure, Carl admits Dylan and Brody have been stealing cars for him. How will Abby take the truth? On another street, Lily Platt complains of stomach pains, but her dad David sends her to school, thinking she's faking. When he later vents to Sarah about Lily fighting over a boy and trying to skip class, Sarah grows worried. Distracted, David notices Carla dumping rubbish in his bin. To his surprise, he finds a pregnancy test inside. Believing it belongs to Betsy, he shows Sarah, but she suggests it could be Lily's, turning David's smugness into panic. Soon after, the true owner of the test comes forward, leaving David stunned. But can the secret stay hidden? Coronation Street baby bombshell leaves the Platts reeling as David uncovers test. The Platt family face a major shock in Coronation Street next week when the discovery of a pregnancy test sparks a mystery, but which relative is secretly expecting? David is left floored when he finds the test discarded in the bin, and his shock only grows when he begins to suspect it could belong to his 12-year-old daughter, Lily. Soap fans are used to endless Who's the Daddy twists, but this time it's a Who's the Mummy puzzle, an insider teases. When David stumbles upon the test, his imagination runs wild. As word spreads, everyone's guessing who might be carrying a baby, but when will the truth finally come out? The story kicks off when David and Lily argue after she complains of stomach pain and refuses to go to school. Thinking she's faking like he often did at her age, David shows no sympathy and insists she attend class anyway. Later, he grumbles to Sarah about Lily's behavior, convinced she's putting it on to avoid lessons. He also reveals that Lily has been struggling recently, even falling out with a pal over a boy. Sarah, however, isn't convinced David sees the whole picture and quietly fears something more serious is going on with her niece. While this plays out, David notices Carla once again dumping her rubbish into his bin. Annoyed, he rummages through the wheelie bin, only to uncover something that leaves him staggered. David thought he'd catch his neighbors red-handed, but the last thing he expected to fish out was a pregnancy kit, our source explains. He instantly jumps to the conclusion that Betsy is hiding the truth from Lisa and decided not to throw it away at home. But what if it belongs to somebody completely different? That question sends David into a panic. When he confides in Sarah, she suggests it might even be Lily's, pointing out her stomach aches, school avoidance, and recent drama with a boy all add up. David is horrified by the idea and refuses to believe it, but deep down he knows he can't avoid the truth forever. And after a bit of detective work at the Platt's house, the owner of the test finally comes forward. The real person admits it in the end, our insider adds, but is it Lily? Is it Betsy? Or could another resident secretly be pregnant? As the truth emerges, all eyes turn to the potential mum-to-be and how the street will react to her life-changing revelation. Coronation Street delivers explosive Todd and Theo drama, but their story is far from finished. Coronation Street viewers were left stunned after a tense and unsettling scene between Todd Grimshaw and Theo Silverton revealed the cracks in their turbulent relationship. The couple, who have been romantically involved for a few months, have already faced plenty of challenges. Theo's painful history with conversion therapy left him emotionally scarred, making it difficult for him to openly embrace his sexuality and trust in a partner. Although Todd and Theo eventually managed to build a connection, the past few weeks have exposed troubling shifts in Theo's behavior. His actions have become increasingly controlling, and his jealousy towards Todd's bond with Billy Mayhew has grown more intense with every passing day. Monday's 1st September episode opened with Theo confronting Todd about why he hadn't returned his calls. His interrogation quickly turned to the subject of Billy, as Theo sought reassurance that Todd had not been in contact with his former flame. After Todd attempted to calm him by promising he hadn't spoken to Billy, Theo revealed he had to attend a mediation session with his estranged wife, Danielle. When he arrived, the meeting took a dramatic turn as Danielle was accompanied by Noah, a figure from Theo's troubled past who clearly unsettled him. Tensions rose further during the mediation as Danielle referred to their children, Miles and Millie, as her kids instead of acknowledging them as shared. Theo's frustration bubbled to the surface, leaving the session fraught with bitterness. Shaken by the encounter, Theo later phoned Todd, who was relaxing at the Rover's return. As the two spoke, Theo overheard Billy's voice in the background, which sent his paranoia spiraling once again. His mood darkened, and instead of heading home calmly, he drowned his frustration in alcohol before staggering drunkenly towards the pub. Rather than going inside, Theo waited outside until Todd returned. When Todd eventually appeared, kebabs in hand, hoping to lighten the mood and share some food, Theo reacted with hostility. He angrily knocked the meal to the ground, criticizing Todd's eating choices and accusing him of deserting him when he needed support the most. The scene escalated further when Theo attempted to force-feed Todd in a cruel and demeaning act of control. He then declared that he was walking out for good, insisting he never wanted to set eyes on Todd again. Despite this dramatic exit, the storyline is far from over. Actor Gareth Pierce, who plays Todd, has hinted that Theo's manipulative and dangerous behavior will only get worse in upcoming episodes. Viewers can expect the relationship to spiral further, with more dark and unsettling moments to come as Theo's obsession deepens and Todd becomes increasingly trapped in the toxic situation. Coronation Street airs on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX.